Today I'm going to talk about The Enormous Crocodile by Roald Dahl. Uh, like I said in other videos about Roald Dahl books, he uses the Queen's English, so please warn your students some words may be different. For example, to be cross and to be angry. To be cross is British English, to be angry is American English, and although a small difference, for a student who comes across it and if they can't understand it, it's frustrating. So please warn them that some words are just going to be a little bit different. And another thing that Roald Dahl does is sometimes he makes up words. So for example, there's an enormous crocodile and a not so big crocodile, and then later he smushes together not so big so it looks like one word, not so big. But if you can warn your student beforehand, not so big are actually three words just put together. In The Enormous Crocodile, the story is simple and straightforward. There are some difficult words, so if I had a student who was reading this, let's say, I would say this is the same level as Arthur books. Maybe it's a little easier than an Arthur book, because here the story is very straightforward. So let me give you an example so you can hear the author's voice and decide what kind of level you think this is. Okay. In the biggest, brownest, muddiest river in Africa, two crocodiles lay with their heads just above the water. One of the crocodiles was enormous. The other was not so big. "Do you know what I would like for my lunch today?" the enormous crocodile asked. "No," the not so big one said. "What?" The enormous crocodile grinned, showing hundreds of sharp white teeth. "For my lunch today," he said, "I would like a nice, juicy little child." "I never eat children," the not-so-big one said. "Only fish." "Ho, ho, ho," cried the enormous crocodile. "I'll bet if you saw a fat, juicy little child paddling in the water over there at this very moment, you'd gulp him in one gulp." "No, I wouldn't," the not-so-big one said. "Children are too tough and chewy. They are tough and chewy and nasty and bitter." "Tough and chewy," cried the enormous crocodile. "Nasty and bitter? What awful tomrot you talk. They are juicy and yummy." "They taste so bitter," the not-so-big one said. "You have to cover them with sugar before you eat them." "Children are bigger than fish," said the enormous crocodile. "You get bigger helpings." "You are greedy," the not-so-big one said. "You're the greediest croc in the whole river." "I'm the bravest croc in the whole river," said the enormous crocodile. "I'm the only one who dares to leave the water and go through the jungle to the town to look for little children to eat." "You've only dared done that once," snorted the not-so-big one. "And what happened then? They all saw you coming and ran away." "Ah, but today when I go, they won't see me at all," said the enormous crocodile. "Of course they'll see you," the not-so-big one said. "You're so enormous and ugly, they'll see you from miles away." The enormous crocodile grinned again, and his terrible sharp teeth sparkled like knives in the sun. "Nobody will see me," he said, "because this time I've thought up secret plans and clever tricks." He tries to eat children with his secret plans and nasty tricks. So the story is pretty straightforward, but Roald Dahl's style is a little different, and it's British, and you have to get used to it, and you have to say, I'm not going to understand everything, and that's okay.